feel they cannot take care of their wards or their children. I had to go and stay with my auntie, not really because my parents could not afford to take care of me, but because she said she needed their help. She needed me. I was to help her out. Not as if I went there to help my parents or to relieve them of anybody. But that was the biggest mistake I did. Because one, it was not as if I was forced to go. I was asked and I accepted. Because I was still small, I was about 9 years, I decided to go. Initially she was nice. That's how all aunties are. She was nice. But along the line, everything changed. Most especially when we had to travel. When she found the work, everything changed. I had to follow her. So on one fateful day, she wasn't feeling fine because she was about to have a miscarriage that day. So I had to follow her to the hospital. When we went to the hospital, I stayed there with her for 3 days. I did not bathe. I did not even change my own nothing. That was how I stayed. On the 4th day, I noticed the blood was coming out of my body, and due to the fact that I was ignorant of my body system that it has changed, I decided I was scared, thinking that it was because I haven't bathed and I haven't changed my own days for 3 days, and that's why all those things started happening. Not until I had to summon courage to ask one of my neighbors. She was more mature than I, and she told me that I was seeing my menstruation. But I could not tell my auntie due to the fact that she was so strict. She was not a mother figure, neither to me, not to her children. She was always so strict that even her children hardly talk to her. So after that, I didn't even inform anybody I was seeing my menstruation. And I had only 2 pants. And I don't even know how I do my things, and I wasn't even told that this is how you do when you're on your period. This is what don't do this. I was not even told. I was unaware of it. Not until we had to travel from Delta to Abuja. That was when her husband was like, "How old are you?" And I told him. Then I was 15. I told him I was going to 16 by September, and he was like, "Haven't you started seeing your menstruation?" And I was like, I started, but when I started, it later stopped, which was normal, but it started during that time. And I explained to him, and he was like, "Let me give you sex education. Don't allow a man to touch you at this age. You don't need a man to touch you, and don't even allow a man play with you around the private part." And he also advised his wife that she was to get me menstruation pad, and she was like, "I'm not using menstruation pad, and I'll get for her." What for? That so long as she use rag, I'll use rag. Anything she use, I'll use. And he was okay, but he refused. The next day when he went out, he bought me pad. That was the first time I saw pad, and I didn't see my classmates with it, but I had this immense joy that I finally put on this thing that everybody are putting on. Then I put it on. He advised me more. All the time he will ask me like, "Well, how many guys have asked you out?" What was your reply? At times my answer will be like, "All this sex education is too much, she's too young for all this one. She's too young. And it will be like, "She's not too young. Somebody that is going to 16 is not young again. She's old enough for all this." After then we left from Abuja back to Delta State. And still the same thing. He did the best that he could do, but he didn't tell me that at this age, the way you behave, you have to change that. Like you have to bathe 2 times. Whenever you're seeing your menstrual cycle, you have to bathe. There was no certain time I was seeing my menstruation, and I felt as if by then I already started having infection. Because whenever I see menstruation, then after that time, I'll be feeling pains. My legs, it will be as if they are piercing me needles in my bone. But I just kept it to myself. I could not tell. I could not even tell anybody. Even when my parents asked me, "Are you okay? Are you fine?" I would tell them I'm fine, because I did not have that courage to tell them that I don't want to stay here. So I had to just endure everything. So on that fateful day, I went to the school. Our school toilet was all messed up. I was seeing my menstruation. I just went there. I sat down on that toilet. And it was so disgusting. But I just sat down on it because I did not even have choice. I had to sit down there. After that day, immediately I finished seeing my major cycle, 2 days after, I noticed that I was feeling itchy in my private parts. I would scratch, and most after scratching, it would get swollen. It got to an extent that I could not walk. Then I had to, since I could not walk, and everybody was like, "What happened?" Man, she could not take it, so she just let us go to the doctor. But before we went, she was like, "Are you sure somebody had not slept with you?" After the whole quarrel and shouts, because she already felt that probably they have slept with me and they have used my private part for money. That was why, all those things. But then we went to the hospital and it was confirmed that I had toilet infection there. But she was like, okay, we were asked to get some drugs. She got the ones that she could afford and left the other ones. Even after getting those drugs, I know the amount of quarreling, the shout. Whenever I do any slightest of this, she'll say that because of my carelessness, she had to spend her money. Money that she spent was just 2,000 naira. Out of all the drugs that was listed there, she was able to buy all the 2. Not until things got out of hand and I had to come back to my parents' place. Still unaware of the fact that the infection was still there. I stayed with it. 1 year after I left her place, I noticed that my whole body system has changed. I noticed something moving in my stomach, unaware that it was infection. And that other day, it has already gotten out of hand. When I went to the hospital, we had to go for scan, we had to run tests. Not until I came, some doctors will say you have to go for surgery. There was one that really made me laugh. He was like, "Don't squat, don't squat, otherwise the infection, the sac in your stomach will get burst." The whole thing was so messed up that I even felt like I was going to die. I felt as if I was not going to see the next day. You'll see my temperature will be hot when everybody are having normal temperature. My own temperature will be different. As it is now, most times after urinating, you see blood. And this has really made my life a living hell, because if this continues, from what the doctors are saying, I might not give birth. I might not be able to conceive. And what's the importance of a woman if she cannot conceive? Every man wants a child. So of what use will I be if I cannot conceive? So I urge parents, keep your child, train your child. Whether you have the money or you don't have the money, make the child understand that even if you have 5 naira, people should share the 5 naira. It will even make the child be independent. It will even help the child to understand that he needs to share even the little of things that he or she has. Keep your child.